Bluff City Media presents The Anthony Sain Show on YouTube at Bluff City Media. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Anthony Sain.
Acknowledgment.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to The Anthony Sain Show. This is your host, Anthony Sain, live from the Bluff City Media Studios. Wednesday edition of the show. Glad to be here, excited to be here. A lot of things to talk about. My man, Kenny Stubblefield, behind the glass. Kenny, what's going on, my brother?
Man, it's good to be with you again, my guy.
Man, it's good to be here, man. Good to be on this side of life, as the old saints say in the church.
Old saints.
saying in the church. But yeah, man, a lot of stuff going on. Since the last time we talked, Kenny Stubblefield, NBA free agency is coming this Friday. Weird time, man. Free agency, I've always grown up. Back in my day, Kenny Stubblefield, free agency would always start like at midnight. So I would take a midday nap.
Right.
Then I would get up around 11:30. I set my alarm for 11:30. I get my phone to see if there were any pre-free agency rumblings, and then I'd tune in. I'd be ready, willing, and able, man, with my phone ready for free agency to come through. They made it a little bit too easy. This new generation just gets everything handed to them, Kenny Stubblefield.
Everything.
The stuff we talked about this off the air the other day about something, a totally different situation. But this new generation of people, man, they ain't had to stay up to midnight for free agency like we had to, man. They get free agency. You know when it starts?
Free agency?
Yeah. You know what time it starts?
This year?
Yeah.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, ride home from work, you up already, you probably working from home, and free agency jumps off in the middle of the day. Like, that's the audacity, man. Like, we used to have to stay up for that type of stuff.
It used to be a commitment.
Yeah,
like you used to have to
stay
be
up.
committed. Only the committed folks would. Now you got Shams Charania, you got Adrian Wojnarowski dropping.
They're making it a primetime event, man.
Primetime event, dropping draft stuff 10 minutes before. It's just too easy now.
And they got it set up. It's literally made for TV now because it's like it starts at 5, it rolls for a couple hours, and then you do like the recap show of what's happened already at 7 p.m. And yeah, it's totally set up for television now as opposed to back in the day. You were up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning checking your Twitter, and it was just going crazy. And then you wake up, or you would wake up to just a whole new NBA when you wake up in the morning.
Crazy.
So yeah, I'm totally excited about it. This Friday at 5 p.m. The thing I want to talk about today in regards to the free agency period, another thing that's super dope about the NBA too is that it's just this wild, fun ride that happens from NBA Finals, NBA Draft, free agency, Summer League. It's just like within a month, well, like within 3 weeks, all these things happen at one time. Like we just crowned a champion.
Right.
We've already had our draft. Free agency is this Friday.
Summer League
next week, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a year-round thing now. Like basketball doesn't stop.
Yeah, like Bryson, who hosts Grizz Next Gen Pod on this show, he talked about how if you want to be honest about it, NBA season really don't end until August because the offseason begins immediately. Like all the offseason stuff starts immediately. You run through Summer League, and then you take your break for the summer after Summer League is over. So, yeah, man, it's a league unlike any other because Summer League is the dopest thing in the world, period. Because what other league? The NFL doesn't have this thing where you draft this quarterback, and a week later, 2 weeks later, you're seeing him throwing touchdowns.
Unbelievable.
Like no other league does that, man. That's why the NBA is just incredibly awesome to me, and I wish everyone saw it the same way, but they don't. But NBA free agency, like I said, is this Friday at 5 o'clock p.m. Here's the conundrum, Kenny Stubblefield. There are a lot of big-name players that are requesting big money. A lot of guys have even opt out of player options. Guys like Kyle Kuzma, Chris Middleton, Draymond Green. There are other guys that are unrestricted free agents that are, requesting certain amounts of money. Dylan Brooks, of all people, is, rumored to be in the $20, $25 million range of what he's requesting.
That's unbelievable.
I have breaking news for you, Kenny Stubblefield. There are only 6 teams in the NBA that have $30 million in cap space or more. Would you like to hear that list of names?
Yeah, give me that list. I'd like to know this list.
And I'm going to let you pretend that you are an NBA free agent, Kenny Stubblefield.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you these names, and I want you to tell me your thoughts on these teams. Houston Rockets. Could you see yourself being a Houston Rocket, Kenny Stubblefield?
Oh, gosh.
Let's say you a 25-point per game scorer.
No. Oh, no. No. Because
I saw Houston play last year.
Yeah, you're a guy who demands in that $25, $30 million. Yeah.
No.
San Antonio Spurs get to play with Victor Wembanyama, who is obviously a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar clone.
Yeah.
That's a theory I might have to throw out there for y'all to look into as well. Look it up, man. Go Google high school Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, then go look at Wembanyama and tell me.
I mean, do we know who Victor Wembanyama's dad is?
He could very well be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Is he cap? Is he the captain?
He could be Captain Junior. Who knows? Just like what's the name looks incredibly like Wilt Chamberlain to me.
Who's that?
What's his name? Plays for Brooklyn. He was Brooklyn, then Dallas, then back to Brooklyn. Bitcoin dude.
Bitcoin dude.
Dude who wanted to get paid in cryptocurrency. Man, you know what I'm talking
Spencer.
about, man. Spencer Dinwiddie. Look at him and look at Wilt Chamberlain and tell me
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then what's the guy's name who won the championship with the Wizards? Not the Wizards. The Wizards ain't won the championship.
Yeah, Wizards.
But giving away a damn team. You know who I'm talking about, man. Bad Foot played for the Warriors.
Bad Foot played for the Warriors.
Got picked like top 5 10 years ago. Wing, 6'8" wing. He played for the Warriors just a little bit. He looks like Wilt Chamberlain.
Who am I? Who you talking?
Don't worry about it. We on
I got Paris Sharkey in my ear trying to tell me.
You know what I'm talking about.
Otto
man.
Porter?
Otto Porter. Yeah, look it up.
Man, my guy Parrish, man, comes in clutch, man.
I believe in cloning, man. Like, I believe that they have like, that dude is clearly Wembanyama is clearly like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's clone.
Would you clone yourself?
For what purpose?
I don't know.
No. If I was a woman, maybe I would probably.
Wild.
But anyway, would you like to play for the Sacramento Kings, Kenny Stubblefield?
Out of the teams that you've mentioned so far, Sacramento might be the one right now.
The Orlando Magic, young up and coming team. Probably not.
Not Florida. I don't want to go to Florida.
You don't want to follow in Penny Hardaway's footsteps, I'm sure.
Right.
Indiana Pacers or Detroit Pistons, any interest?
Nah, man, I'm good.
But those are the teams that got that bag, and I don't see certain players wanting to just walk into those situations to go play for those teams. So what I'm going to present today, Kenny, is that I'm going to ask the question: if you were a free agent and money didn't matter, and you were a athletic wing or a 3-4 or just an impact player in the NBA, are the Memphis Grizzlies a team you can see yourself going?
Hell yes.
Young,
Without
good.
a doubt.
You know what I mean? They got a lot of guys who I don't know if people know this or not, but from a social aspect, Jaren Jackson Jr. is. You remember the summer that Chandler Parsons came to the Grizzlies?
I do.
How they talked about how Chandler Parsons is like everybody's friend. Like,
absolutely.
He's like the guy that like links the entire league. Like everybody's connected.
Everybody's connected to Chandler Parsons.
Jaren Jackson Jr. is like that dude. A lot of people 100%. don't know that.
But he's a likable person.
Yeah, Jaren is like boys with a lot of dudes in the league. And I think he's a guy that he's got friends and he's got guys who might want to play with him. Plus, he's vice president of the Players Association. And I'm not saying that's the reason why. There's one particular guy that I do think that is the reason why. But I can see a guy like a Kyle Kuzma wanting to come here to play with Jaren. That's his boy. And just be a part of this culture. I could definitely see that. I could see a Draymond Green wanting to come to Memphis.
Man.
That's something other people have been talking about. I think that as a Grizzlies fan, there are a lot of people talking about mid-level exception, these type of things. I'm going to take that off the table, and I'm going to tell you why. I am by no means a salary cap aficionado. As a matter of fact, I don't know much of shit about the NBA salary cap. But I will say that I do know the basics of it that include the luxury tax and those type of things. I'm not certain that even though they have said they're willing to pay the luxury tax, with this new CBA, you have to be wise even with how you use the luxury tax, how you go into it. I'm not sure that the Grizzlies are willing to add salary on top of their payroll as constructed, if that makes any sense.
How do you reconcile that with Kleiman's post-draft comments where he said, we got an owner who's willing to spend?
I get that, but there's certain NBA rules where you don't want to shoot your shot too soon.
Got you.
Kenny Stubblefield. Shout out to Keaton Lawson again. The joke that just keeps on joking.
It just keeps on giving, baby.
You don't want to blow off too quick. You know what I mean, with that whole tax thing. Because I think the repeat thing is like worse or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't stay in the luxury tax long,
Right.
or you start getting docked serious
Right.
cash.
So this might not be the year you want to start getting into that. You know what I mean? So I think with the Grizzlies, especially when you've got $30 million tied up in guys that you haven't seen since February. And I might have my month wrong. When's the last time we saw Brandon Clark?
He was later in the season, right?
It was like March or April,
April, maybe something
no,
like
because
that.
the season he didn't. It was probably February.
February, probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly.
So,
when.
yeah, you got $30 million tied up in Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, who you haven't seen at all. And it may be questionable whether you want that kind of money tied up into a big that, I'll be honest, I call Steven Adams training wheels on his team. Hell of a player, but it is what he is. Like, people talk about Steven Adams and the whole, well, he gets offensive rebounds. I'd rather have a guy that, like, doesn't have to worry about Dylan Brooks taking 30 bad shots in the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd rather have a guy that doesn't have that type of pressure on him, you know what I mean, on this team. I think that we talk about that too much as far as his responsibility and what he brings to the table. But I'm not sure they want to add new money on top of the money they already have.
That makes sense.
I think that what the Grizzlies will end up doing, and I think they're also going to hold off on the MLE thing because I think they may believe that there may be a player or two or three that they may have Memphis as a destination they want to go to as a sign and trade destination. And that would probably be the first time in the history of Memphis that would happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real thing, man. I can't remember who it was. Was it Zach Lowe who said that don't be surprised to see?
No, Zach created an uproar this week.
Yeah, when I saw that, man, a little tear welled up in my eye to hear someone say Memphis is a sign and trade destination.
Is a destination
And
spot.
if I was to guess who those guys were, I said two of them already. I said Kyle Kuzma. I said Draymond Green. Another name I'll throw out that I wouldn't be surprised that wants to come here is Harrison Barnes. I think I heard something about he's got ties here, maybe.
Yeah, you've mentioned that. I think I've never read that. I've never seen that. He might be across the river. There might be some ties.
I think he's got he's got some connection to the city, I think. I can see a Harrison Barnes. I can see a Jeremy Grant. Somebody told me that Jeremy Grant only wants to play for black coaches, though. You ever heard that? Like, I think that's a real thing, man. I think he said that, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Maybe we can do some you know.
I've not heard that.
I don't know. Maybe we could put Taylor Jenkins in blackface.
I was going to ask you, can we give him a pass for the one sign and trade meeting?
Yeah, no, we ain't doing that at all. we ain't putting Taylor Jenkins in a blackface. But no, I think that's something interesting to look at, man. Like I said, you've got to pay Ja, you've got to pay Bain. Our payroll is going to skyrocket after this season. So I'm not sure they want to add new money, another contract that's $12.5 million per year to what they already have. But I could see them being a sign and trade destination where they send out a Steven Adams type contract, a Brandon Clark type contract, and you get another guy in that honestly might be better suited to play next to Jaren Jackson Jr. For years to come.
So that means you're telling me it is Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 5 season now.
Because here's the thing. People are like, well, Jaren's not ready to be a 5.
Why not?
Well, if that's the case, he's never going to be ready because this is year 5 for Jaren.
Yeah,
like
why not?
You eventually have to let Jaren get tested by fire, man. Like
100%.
Like he's 7 feet tall. He's approaching. I don't know how much he weighs, but if you look at him on the court, he looks as big as Anthony Davis, as
100%.
big as the Karl Anthony Towns types of the world
That play 5.
that play the 5 at this point. If you're not going to let Jaren be the 5 now, when are you going to do it? I mean, we just finished up year 5 for him, right?
Yeah, this is going. Is this going into year 6?
Yeah, and I think, and like I said, man, me personally, my goals for this season are to have are to have this team at a point where they have matured, and that's mentally and physically. I don't really care what the outcome of the season is. And I think with that being said, me personally, this would be a perfect year to just see where Jaren is as a 5. Now, I understand that you might take your bumps with it, but I saw this Grizzlies team
Come on, man.
a long time play without Steven Adams, and we still were winning games.
And he was the defensive player of the year.
He was defensive player of the year.
Like, what are we talking about?
And,
he was
I'm
dominant.
not saying, I know everything I say turns into not only I want to get rid of Steven Adams. That's what's going to happen. And also, I don't like Steven Adams.
That's not true at all.
Because it turned into, when I was saying that it made sense for the Grizzlies to trade Tyus, that turned into I don't like Tyus Jones. Because I'm like, yeah, it makes sense to trade him.
People don't understand nuance, man.
Yeah, people don't understand, facts over feelings, man. Leave the emotions at the house. And I understand the role that Steven Adams plays. But I believe that in a sign and trade situation, I would much rather see a $25, $30 million player come back in a situation to the Grizzlies, and a Steven Adams goes out with the Zaire Williams to bring in a guy who can play the 4 or can play the 3 when the other team has a 3-man that's killing you. It may have a 4 that's kind of dormant. I would much rather see a situation like that than to see money tied into someone whose role is to set picks and get offensive rebounds. And I understand what Steve Adams brings to the table, but it's time for us as a franchise to move forward, man. You got to get to the point where fix the issue that's making him so valuable as a rebounder, which is called making shots as scoring points, as opposed to making sure you got a guy that can catch misses.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Steven Adams said in a postgame. How do you get so many rebounds? Because we missed a lot of shots.
Yeah, we missed a lot of shit, man.
We missed a lot of shots.
Let's fix the shot missing.
Let's stop missing so many shots.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
you mentioned 4 guys: Jeremy Grant, Draymond, Harrison, and Kyle Kuzma. If Memphis is a destination spot, we get to pick. Who do you pick?
I'm gonna tell you another one that I didn't list that I would not be surprised to come here. It's Chris Middleton. I didn't list him at all, but he definitely was on my mind. And I put a poll out today on Twitter just to see where people were at. And Chris Middleton was winning the poll. I was surprised to hear that. Healthy, he'd be my number 1 choice.
He's second best player on a world champion team from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, he wouldn't be my choice because I'm not really sure health-wise where he is. But if he's healthy, he'd probably be number 1. He can make shots. He can defend on the perimeter, can defend in the post. He's got the Taylor Jenkins connection. I'm sure he wouldn't mind coming to a team where he can kind of serve that mentor role. And if he's called upon to score, I think he's fine with that. And if he's not called upon to score, I think he'd be fine with that as well. If I had my choice, it'd be Jeremy Grant, though.
You like Jeremy Grant? Big
jumbo wing, 6'9", can defend. He defends. He's starting to get away from being a perimeter defender. He is a post defender.
Yeah.
But can knock down. He's really worked on his jump shot, knocked that down. I like that about him. I would take any of those guys. I kind of think that Kyle Kuzma is a little overrated as far as being – he's got a lot of big Dillon Brooks in him.
Big Dillon Brooks in him.
Not a defender at all, really.
Yep.
Mega scorer. I think he definitely would want a bigger role here. I think he would. I don't think he would kind of fall in line.
He's a volume guy.
Yeah, I think he want to get his.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something to think about though, man. That's all I'll say.
How funny? Can I just be honest?
Yeah,
with
go
you?
ahead.
I'm a big fan of irony and things. How ironic would it be if last year's Grizzlies villain, not Dillon Brooks, but the Grizzlies villain, Draymond Green, who came out and said, "The dynasty starts after you, not with you."
And he's actually the dude who makes it.
He's that guy. How crazy would that be?
It would be crazy as hell, and I would love it, man. You talk about a lineup. If you got Draymond Green and Jaren is your front court,
and Marcus Smart,
is your wing defender, that's 3 out of the last 6 defensive player of the years. Not 3 out of the last 5.
Crazy.
Yeah, because Draymond won in 16-17. Is Draymond, Gobert's won 1, Kawhi's won 1, Jaren, and Marcus Smart. Yeah.
Didn't Giannis win 1?
And Giannis. It'd be 3 out of the last 6. There you go. It'd be 3 out of the last 6 if Draymond wanted to come here. I think that was a long shot. I would not rule it out. He has not signed a contract with Golden State. Breaking news. But it's going to be an exciting few days, man. By the time this show airs, free agency will be no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking it's Thursday. Free agency is Friday, so we'll know more as the week goes on. But I think it could be a possibly very exciting amount of days coming ahead for us for sure. And speaking of exciting, have an exciting guest coming on after the break. Daniel Greer, host of Grizz 901, as well as Bluff City Bets here on Bluff City Media. Very entertaining guy, funny guy, informative guy. Been in the game grinding for a while. Excited to have him on. He's coming up next here on the Anthony Sain Show. We'll see you guys in a minute.
What's up, guys? I'm so excited to announce that we have partnered with Coaching for Literacy, and you can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your subscription to Bluff City NIL is 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. Thank you for supporting Memphis Tigers student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. It's time for Sit Down with Sain. This week, have a very talented guest. You guys know him from Grizz 901 as well as Bluff City Bets. Here on Bluff City Media, very funny guy. I had to get him on. He's the first, Bluff City Media guest we've had.
I was going to say the melon challenged.
Well, no, because
guest.
Chip Williams was on there.
Oh, Chip was on.
Well, he's more so melon depleted. So that's
He's
a little
melon.
yeah. So
Chip came out of the dungeon of draft stuff to come and talk to you. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, Daniel Greer is here. Daniel, what's going on, my brother?
Not much, man. Excited to be here in the is this the Sain Asylum? Is this it?
Man, when I'm in here, this is what it is. You know, it is the Bluff City Media Studios, but you know how if you come on the radio station, depending on what show it is, it might be whatever the sponsor studio is. So for right now, today, yeah, it is. It's the Sain Asylum studio. We'll go with that for sure. But Daniel, good to have you on today, man. A lot of stuff going on in the NBA.
Hold on. Before you get started.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Let's talk about this right here, man.
Let's talk about what's he wearing.
So I walk in the door today. I see a very bootleg looking ass jersey on Daniel. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna check the man. You know, it's his swag. I ain't gonna.
It's not bootleg. It's like an Under Armour or something. Yep.
Bro, even if it's the official jersey of his school, it's bootleg. I'm sure they didn't have. We were talking about Fort Wayne. But anyway, he's wearing the John Conchar Jitty 55 shitty for the city Conchar jersey in honor of me. You said,
in honor of you.
Yeah.
I know you're a big Conchar fan, and so
yeah, for sure, man.
I was given
always a fan of the underdog. That's the only reason why I'm a fan.
The most authentic underdog. He, Coach Kaufman, who I have come to know at Fort Wayne University, he sent me this in a care package.
So that's the real deal.
This is the real deal. It's got something on it, back to back. I don't know. They beat Indiana University. I don't know.
So that's the actual game worn type jersey there.
Something like that.
But they wear that in Mam League.
Yeah, probably.
It
was beautiful. Number 55?
55, Jitty. Anyway.
In honor of you, Sain.
Yeah, in honor of me, man. I don't know why y'all think I don't like John Conchar, man. It's just
because you don't like John Conchar.
Like
it's very clear. Very obvious.
Well, we had the discussion off the air, but I'm not really going to go there today.
Is this an intervention?
Who, for me? No. It might be for you. You feel better about wearing the
I feel great now. I feel myself right
good,
now.
Man. Good. I'm glad to have you on today, man. Tell us about the shows you host, Daniel Greer. Bluff City Bets, Grizz 901. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so Bluff City Bets has been kind of a baby of ours in a sense. Mm-hmm. It is now 2 shows. Early in the week, we have Chase coming on with a lot of soccer, but also other picks that he's doing. Mm-hmm. I'm mainly all baseball right now, but it's a show. It's 20 minutes. It's on Friday, and we pretty much get straight to the point, give you our best plays, give you things to look for, and teach you how to bet and make money compared to some other shows who just want to give you the plays and just say, hey, dummy, just put your money out there.
Right.
We try to teach you a little bit. That way you can kind of learn and develop a betting strategy yourself.
Yeah, I'm a very novice bettor, so I definitely have to turn in. I had to.
Tune in.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, bring me on live like the draft show we did.
Oh, God.
I try to make sure I'm sober if I jump on that joint, though, for sure. And your show, that's sponsored by Zen Bets, right?
Zen Sports.
Zen Sports, all right.
Zen Sports.
Break down Zen Sports to me, because it seems like a very innovative thing. I understand it's kind of like a peer-to-peer type thing, right? So
no, it's not peer-to-peer yet.
Okay.
I think that's the direction they eventually want to go at some point, but mainly it is just your normal, just like FanDuel, DraftKings, all those kind of. It's the same thing. So they have the same concept. But they give you cash back. And so let's say you put in your money, whatever, for the first 15 days, you get 5% cash back of everything that you bet.
Okay.
And then after that, you get, I think it's 3% cash back at the first of every month. They send you pretty much a direct deposit into your account. And so you get that cash back just for playing just on their sports book. Okay.
Right.
So there's obviously some other things you don't want to do too many withdrawals and other stuff like that. But also for people that you bring in. So if I give you my code or give you the Bluff City Bets code, which is Bluff C, if you do that, then for 6 months, you get 5% of everything that person actually bets.
That sounds pretty dope for real though, man. Especially when they get that peer-to-peer started, cause Bub be want to talk shit on Twitter, want to argue with you, but shit, man, take my link. Let's bet on it. Let's go and get you broke right quick, and then we can just end all these discussions. But yeah, shout out to the good people at Zen Sports, sponsor of Bluff City Bets. Grizz 901, of course, is a Grizz only show that you do as well. I tune in often just to see what I'm gonna talk about. I don't. That's one of the behind the scenes things people don't understand about sports. We all listen to each other's shows to know what we're gonna talk about.
Exactly.
Like we all pull off of each other. And I remember I got offended by that the first time I knew that was happening to me because I've done early morning stuff, a lot, and I used to get offended by it until I found myself listening to Gabe Kuhn on the way up here. You know what I mean? Like
you have to.
Yeah, we all borrow each other's stuff. So I definitely check you guys out as well. You guys do have a great show though. Props to you guys as well. Anything particularly you want to share about coming up maybe with that show?
Yeah, so the story behind it, we're now doing only post-game shows. So off-season we go live every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. We're recording this on Tuesday, so I have a show tonight.
Right.
But Tuesdays at 8 o'clock we go live in the off-season. But during season, we are live immediately after the games. It started on a random road trip down to New Orleans, came back, could not find any Grizzlies content on the way back home. And I was just like, what? Like, that's our area. That's where we can get and increase our niche a little bit. And so started doing post-game shows. We go live so we can communicate and hang out with everybody immediately after the game. But then from there, like, we can upload this stuff, and then people might go to bed, but you wake up in the morning and you can tune us up. We're there every morning after the game.
You might have started checking you guys out. I already deal with insomnia big time anyway, so
we're gonna be up.
Yeah, man, because like that Marcus Smart thing, like I know I'm old as hell, right? But like that Marcus Smart trade showed me, dude, you're not nearly as young as you might think you are. You know what I mean? Because I was up till like 3 in the morning, turned right back around at 7 in the morning and got started. I was like, oh man, screw this. Like the Grizzlies got me. I didn't try to make Kenny do more work. He let me curse, but in certain words I know he got to beep out. So, but anyway, yeah, man. Like, but what you guys do is really good. It's needed to have that show you can tune in to immediately after the game for people like me who, because man, after a big game, man. Like your nerves just won't let you go to sleep.
No.
You know what I mean? So I might as well just, jump in with you guys or on Twitter Space or something like that. So check out Daniel Greer, Bluff City Bets, Grizz 901, here on Bluff City Media. The days one more time?
Tuesdays at 8 o'clock is the Grizz 901, the live show. Bluff City Bets, we're going to go Tuesday and Friday as of right now.
Gotcha. So guys, make sure y'all check that out. My guy, Daniel Greer. Daniel Greer, more about yourself. You told us off the air that you are a native of Memphis.
I am.
Native Memphian or whatever. Tell us your sports story, like the teams you grew up on. Of course, you're a Grizzlies fan now. You weren't born on the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies didn't get here until later. So how did you become a Grizz fan? And just tell us more about that.
Yeah, so obviously grew up here in Memphis, born and bred. But I've always been a big fan of, basketball in general. I played college baseball, and so did that. Huge Braves fan. But when the Grizzlies came, I loved Duke, and so Shane Battier was getting drafted by Duke in 2002 by the Grizzlies, and so from there, obviously my hometown team, that was like my jam. So I've been a fan ever since day one. Pau Gasol, Shane Battier. But my favorite sports story was, I guess it was 2 years ago, when Ja said, I sent in the little tweet and it said, I don't think Ja has that fire in his eye anymore. And then after the Lakers game, he called me out, and literally that's the greatest story for the.
Wait, that was you?
That was me.
Damn, I didn't know that shit. Kenny, you knew that?
I did not know that.
Nope.
I can't believe that was you.
That was me.
I thought it was like a kid, man.
We might
it was
need
a
to-
grown-ass 40-year-old man.
We might need to rethink some stuff here.
Damn.
I was literally moving the next morning. I was sleeping on a mattress on my floor with my wife, and literally, like, I just sent out a random tweet responding to Jessica Benson, who now is Grind City Media.
Right.
And I just said, I just don't think Ja has that fire in his eye. I didn't tag him. I didn't do anything. I rolled over.
That's the petty levels of Ja Morant.
That is. Hey,
he
but that's
comes
what we
looking
love.
for it. Yeah,
That's Memphis. So.
Yeah.
And so at that point, like it's 11 when I sent that out. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. One of my young kids probably comes in there, bothers me. I look at my phone. I'm like, oh, this isn't good. my phone was just blowing up, and it was still like 1, 2 in the morning, and it was still going, and I was like, oh my God. And so that happened, and then I was at my friend's house sitting on the couch watching it on my phone because they wanted to watch a Tigers game. And all of a sudden I was like, hold on. So I like paused it. I went backwards. I was like, did you just hear what I heard?
Right.
And I was like, this is not good.
I had no clue that was you.
It was a fun night though.
Yeah, for sure. I bet it was. Speaking of fun nights, last week around this time, you guys had the NBA draft live show you guys had. And I was invited on by some guy named Luke Hadamaker. I don't really know Luke. He has a show on the podcast, on this network as well. And he asked me to come out. I was like, man, I recorded my show that day. I don't know if I can make it. You know what I mean? I was like, dude, I really don't care about the draft. Like, right. I really don't. You know, I'm not going to joke with you. So I came home, and my glaucoma was bothering me, so I took some medication.
Are these excuses?
Yeah, I took some medication for my glaucoma.
And slight anxiety.
Yeah, and a slight anxiety as well. Right. And I said, man, maybe I'll hop on this podcast, this live recording. So, yeah, it was fun, man. I'm glad you guys invited me on.
I'm glad you came on, man.
Yeah, I didn't mean to disrespect, man. Just, you know.
Listen, we want you.
Because I know y'all were, like, super serious about the GG Jacksons of the world.
We were not, but we want you to be you.
Yeah,
and
so it was a fun time, man.
It was a good time.
Yeah, for sure. That night, the Grizzlies selected GG Jackson in the second round, 45th pick overall. I did not know who GG Jackson was. I saw people in you guys' comments saying all this stuff about him. I'm like, man, y'all don't get out of here, man. Like, y'all don't know this dude. They're like, oh, you know, he's still supposed to be in middle school right now. So technically, the Grizzlies in 4 years. They're like, all right. Dude's probably gonna be in Lithuania in 2 years. But anyway, no, I did my own research on GG Jackson as well. Very kind of unique situation for a kid who probably got not the most favorable advice to go to college last year. He probably should have stayed, you know, in high school last year. He would have been a college freshman this year. He went the college route, probably had a significant NIL deal, just being, I don't know, but I'm just throwing out stuff it probably was. Went to a school where he was probably easily the best player on the team, 17 years old. Everything was going through him. And it's one thing when everything goes through you when you're 6'9" in high school, but when you're a college basketball player, it's not the same, you know, thing or whatever. So, and typically in a situation like that, you're not asking a kid like that to have that big of a role. Even here in Memphis when Jalen Duren thrived, we weren't running post plays for Jalen Duren. He just kind of got in and used his athleticism and got in where he fit in. But they were running everything through this kid, and that pressure seemed to be way too much for him. I think he's got all the tools in the world to be a real player for this team. And I was telling Kenny this, I don't know if it was on there or off the air. He's the kind of guy where if you're talking about guys to put next to Jaren Jackson Jr. in the future, if that kid can rebound and score in the paint and score out the dribble like that, like that's the type of dude in a couple of years I'd like to see next to Jaren Jackson Jr. I think he's got a lot. I'm really just, you know, throwing out bullshit or whatever because he could be terrible. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah, but is this? I know you said that it might be a bad decision to come out, but let's say he does stay in and come out next year. What's going to happen? He's probably going to go in the top 5 of the draft.
Yeah, for sure.
He's going to go to a terrible franchise. Yeah. Right? So now he's, instead of going to, you know, you actually make money a year earlier, you're now making money again because you're drafted. You're going to be able to go down to the G League. So pretty much you're drafted getting paid more than you were if you were to go join the G League Ignite.
Right.
It's the same setup. I trust the Grizzlies front office and the player development to make him good. I don't think I don't think it'd have been smarter to go back. I understand what you're saying. But also say, like, the way it worked out, one, he got lucky.
Oh, yeah. He came to a good situation because the Grizzlies. Yeah. He came to a good situation because the Grizzlies are one of those organizations where they're going to try to bring their guys along at the right pace. They're not going to put any pressure on him and feel like he has to play. He has to pan out in 2 years. They'll slow walk him along, you know, if they feel like he has that potential. So I definitely agree that in hindsight, he didn't. You could say, well, that kid should have stayed in school. But if you look at it, it worked. It planned out perfectly for him. Even the stuff that like the character issues that people had, they really weren't worth a guy dropping that far in the draft. Yeah. The fact that he came here, it could end up being a perfect situation. So I'm down for it for sure. Other developments as far as the Grizzlies are concerned, we found out yesterday that the Grizzlies picked up the team option on Xavier Tillman, meaning he'll be back next year. Right. Next year, the year after that, next summer, he'll be a free agent. What are your thoughts on locking him up and just what he could do for this team this year and for years to come?
I think it's a no-brainer to go ahead and get his team option. The issue is moving forward after this year. What do you do? I think right now it's very simple. You have a guy who can be when they have a play. Who's the person that comes in next? Whatever. So if the main actor in a play for some reason just goes out and sick, you have somebody that can kind of fill in for him. Whatever that name is called. And so
I can't think of it.
Yeah.
I know what you
So
mean.
if you have a guy like Steve-O who's great, he's a starter. Let's say he goes out. You're bringing in somebody who has experience that you can count on, but you're not paying a lot of money to. The difference is if you had to pay a lot of money to him, that's a different situation. Right. But this team can be the best version of itself if he is the 11th guy. If he is the 7th, 8th guy, that's not what we want.
You're not in a good place at all. And he's got such a good attitude about things. He's a very low maintenance guy. Whether he's playing or he's not playing, he's the same upbeat guy, team first guy. He went to play in the summer league with guys when he didn't. There was really nothing to prove for him. He was or he wasn't, and he still went to the summer league and he showed his leadership there. I'm really happy for him. I hope that it's something that can go on past this season. Something else in the last couple of weeks. Big news with the Memphis Grizzlies. Marcus Smart acquired via trade on draft night for Tyus Jones. We haven't spoke about that. I'm super excited about it. The versatility that he has, the way that he can play, he can guard any position in the backcourt. And just when you start talking to people who know him and experience him more than we have, they're like, oh, that dude can guard anybody. Like 100%. You could go put him on, he could guard anybody in the court. He's either going to lock up your point guard or he's going to frustrate the hell out of the big on the other side as well. And I talked to Kari Thompson, who works for Boston.com out in Boston. He's a native Bostonian as well. And he was like, yeah, man, that should be the least of your worries. Yep. You know what I mean? Marcus Smart can guard anybody on the court. So you guys can put him, if you want to play him as a 2, play him as a 3, whatever you're doing, playing with Ja, without Ja, whatever you're doing, he can work for sure. What are your thoughts on him and just, what he can bring to this team?
So I think he's the ultimate hybrid. And some people are saying, can he guard certain guys? He's shorter than Dylan. They have the same. He has a longer reach than Dylan, which in the end, their reach is the exact same. And so he's being a hybrid, which allows him to play next to Ja. He can run the second unit. He can play next to the point guard on the second unit. So he can be the guy who is kind of, that brings everybody together. So he's been averaging 30-plus minutes every year. That's the only thing I'm looking at. Is he going to be a guy who can be the sixth man and still average 30 minutes? I think that actually benefits the Grizzlies if you're able to bring somebody in, whether that is David Roddy, whether that is somebody on the MLE, and slide them into the starting role once Ja gets back, and then you have him run the second unit. But really, in the end, all he is a sixth starter in a sense. And so he's the hybrid that can play along. If you go get a backup point guard and he's playing well, yeah, that's what he's the ultimate hybrid.
I'm fully content with Smart starting the entire season, whether he starts at starting point guard with Ja, or as he plays in the 3-guard lineup, guarding the best player on the other side, whether it's a 3, the 2, the 1. So you seem to be a little different. It seems like you think they should, or you just think this is what they'll end up doing as far as getting another starter.
As of currently constructed, you have to start him. He's the best player. But if they can bring in somebody that is a good 2 or a good 3, you can easily slide him to the bench. I don't think he would have an issue with that. You're going to play the same minutes. I don't care about starters. I care about who finishes the game. I care about who's the top 8, because in the end of the day, regular season championships aren't worth anything. Right. And we've seen that now over the last few years.
We've been runners-up for
tired of
regular season championships twice in a row. We've been your Western Conference runner-ups 2 years in a row, so to speak. With that being said, you talked about if the Grizzlies do anything else. We've heard all of the things that the Grizzlies might possibly do, sign and trade type scenarios. What's the scenario that you're not really hearing as much as some of the other ones you're hearing that you wouldn't be surprised that would happen, or you personally would make happen if you were making the choice?
So if it's me, I think there's a way to consolidate still. But if I'm going out to get somebody, I'm going to go get Javon Carter. Okay. Because he's a guy who is familiar with the area. He knows his mom, I think, still lives here. He's a guy who can be your actual point guard, your backup point guard, but he's also a guy that if you want to run him alongside of Marcus Smart, you could. Right.
Kind of a poor man's Marcus Smart.
Yes. But also, he doesn't have to play.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't playing a lot in Milwaukee and then eventually worked his way. He's a dog, and I think that you can feel comfortable that he's going to play his hardest. Right. He's going to put out his best effort. And at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for.
And he might feel like he's got some unfinished business here.
100%. And he's going to be cheaper than others.
Yeah.
Like he's probably going to cost you $4 to $6 million a year max.
Right.
There's a lot of other people I would pay.
Yeah. Well, I could definitely see a guy like Javon Carter coming in for, like you said, not making much money, but a gentleman that's probably on the way out for the Memphis Grizzlies who probably wants a lot much more than what Javon Carter is going to get. Dylan Brooks has been connected to the Houston Rockets. I don't get it. I don't understand why they. I can see it as far as feeling like, okay, if I'm Houston, because no matter what you want to say about Dylan created a lot of the culture of this team.
Right.
As far as getting this team from being an ass water team to being the team that competes in the playoffs. Yep. Like Dylan was a key part of it. Like, and I think he created some of that culture as well. So I can see a team wanting him, but not Houston. Maybe a team that's like shown promise, and maybe we just need a little bit more to get over the hump to be like an Orlando type team. Right. But Houston is just a bunch of green babies, man. Who know
it's a new coach.
Yeah, it just feels like. I don't know, man. It just seems like I can see Dylan coming out there, man, thinking he is literally Kobe Bryant going to the Lakers. Like
it's
for real,
the worst
bro.
Spot.
Yeah, it just seems like the worst scenario to sit up to as far as that goes. And I'm not all the way convinced that Ime Udoka is this just drill sergeant, coach in general that we've kind of made like. Yeah. We really talked like he's Red Auerbach Jr. And I'm like, okay, I understand he had an awesome season in Boston. Right, one awesome season in Boston. But we kind of talked like he's just going to come in and he's Coach Carter or somebody. Because there's a meme, I want to put a meme out on Twitter that has Samuel Jackson and the little light-skinned dude. Like, this is Ime Udoka and Dylan, day one. I want to put that on Twitter. I'm going to put it out tonight before the show airs. But it's like we've kind of created this legacy of Ime Udoka. Like, okay, bro, we don't know what he is. Like, he literally is there for a year for a team that's been to the conference finals for the last 6 years.
Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, exactly. And Marcus Smart. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to act like he can't coach, but we just don't know. Correct. We don't know how good. Like, we're really giving him credit. Like, he's just going to go to Houston and, like, be Joe Brown on Lean on Me. Like, I just think we're just kind of jumping the line a little bit with him. Like, he may be awesome, but I just think it's too early to say that now. So, Dylan in Houston. Like,
it's the dumbest thing.
I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. He just seems so – because he's gonna start there. Like, he's not going to go there and come out the bench. And do you want him? That team already has some of the bad habits with Jalen Green. Okay, do you want
Jabari Smith?
Right. You want Dylan to be big bro out there?
They only have one basketball. Now, if there's a way they could do 2 basketballs at a time, then everybody would actually get to shoot them. But if not, then there's no way I would send Dylan to Houston.
And I can see poor Fred VanVleet, man. Like, if he goes there too, I can see Dylan being like, you're not really Canadian. Like let a real Canadian do this. Like, it's just
you're fake Canadian.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Shout out to Dylan. I've heard people talk about, will you cheer for Dylan if he was on another team? I'm not gonna cheer against him. Like, I don't care. Like, why? Sure. Like, I'm not gonna have a root interest with Dylan one way or another if he goes to another team.
Do you think he gets booed when he comes back to Memphis?
Will he get booed? Yeah, because he's gonna do some wild shit, man. Yeah.
Before the game?
Man,
there's no way.
Have you paid attention to Dylan pregame stuff?
But Memphis is Memphis, so
man, Dylan probably gonna be out there with a John Calipari t-shirt on in the warm-up drills. Like, but you're talking about the dude who
that would be awesome.
You're talking about the dude who jumps the line during the national anthem, bro. Okay. Like, when they're singing the national anthem, he jumps before the song's over. He just goes out there and just starts doing stuff. Well, like, he's a villain, man. Like, Dylan, he's gonna give you a reason probably to boo him as soon as if things get started. For real.
I believe that.
But Daniel, I appreciate you coming on, man. Once again, check him out. Give us a rundown of what you got going on.
Grizz 901, we go live in the offseason every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And then post games, whenever Grizzlies season gets started, we will be going live immediately after the games. And then Bluff City Bets, right now Chase has got his show coming out on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. I do mine on Friday. And so very quick shows for the Bluff City Bets, 20 minutes or less. Making sure we give you our best content. But before we get out of here, don't close. All right. We have a gift for you.
All right, I appreciate it. Go tell them what this is going to be.
So it's actually a real gift, Grizz 901. We have to give this to you. So the card is just a congratulations on your new show.
Man, thank you, brother.
Hey, but you got to open it. I told Kenny about it. I told Kenny you'd open it. He's approved it.
Oh, shit. All right.
It's a shirt.
Oh, yeah. Check it out, man. Can people buy this online?
That's a 1 of 1. Please turn it around. Please turn it around.
I gotta be fucked up too. Just to let you know.
That is a 1 of 1. That's a Sainchar, number 46. Sainchar. All right, the shirt is actually good. You can pull the tape off of it if you'd like.
I might rock it like that, man. I'll watch it till it comes off. How about that? John Conchar, Jitty for the city, baby. You know I made a John. Appreciate that, bro. I really do.
Yeah, man.
You know I made a John Conchar shirt on the Silent Tees.
Shut up.
My company. It sells too.
Does
I've sold a few of them.
Did you do that like willingly, or did somebody like say, "Hey, you have to"?
Pandering to white people, basically was.
Hey,
was
all
my
their
whole
money
vision.
spends.
Oh yeah, it's been real well.
I can't believe you turned it around. I told Kenny, I was like, I hope you hold it up
Look at it,
and then look at it and then turn it around so the
No.
camera sees it first.
I'm used to the camera, man. So I had to show the. I didn't want the camera. I didn't want the
such a
people to
vet.
see a black shirt. So
Such a vet.
Then I saw the back of it. Ain't this something? Yeah, my boy Daniel Greer, man. Check him out. Get y'all some free money on Bluff City Bets and check out the best post game show. They even doing post game when ain't no games. Y'all doing summer league stuff?
Summer League, we are going to do Mondays. So
Okay.
first Monday game.
Check it out, man. Check out my boy Daniel Greer, man. We're about to take a break. When we come back, the 3-pointers coming up next. We'll see you guys in a minute on the Anthony Sain Show.
What's up, guys? I'm so excited to announce that we have partnered with Coaching for Literacy, and you can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your subscription to Bluff City NIL is 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. Thank you for supporting Memphis Tiger student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
Right, everyone. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Had a little wardrobe change, kind of stuff. I had to throw in my Grizz 9-on-1 tee, courtesy of my guy Daniel Greer with the John Conchar salute. Got the Sainchar.
Shout out to Daniel Greer.
Yeah, Sainchar 46 on the back, man. This tape on the back of this shirt is coming off immediately. I just want to let y'all know that I will not be wearing the John Conchar gear. I'll leave the Bluff City Classic jersey uniform wearing to Daniel Greer, who's rocking the John Conchar joint.
Man, when he sent me that picture of that John Conchar jersey, I was like, who in the hell has a John Conchar Fort Wayne jersey?
I don't even think John Conchar owns.
Like, John doesn't even have one of them.
Yeah.
I bet John's going to look at we know he's watching. I bet when he sees this show, he's going to be like, let me get that jersey, bro.
Who was that Christopher Wallace, former GM of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
He walked up to Ron Tillery one time, and I guess it was one of those, hey, Ron, you're black, right? I guess it was like one of those type of moves, right? He said, Ron, do you know this Anthony Sain dude? He's like always on my ass. He was like, you know him.
Y'all know each other.
Y'all know each other, right?
Y'all in the group text, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. You see him at the cookout. But Daniel Greer, shout out to him, man. Great segment we had with him. Make sure you guys check him out. Bluff City Bets, Grizz 9-on-1. You guys have a great show, man. I enjoy it. I watch it. So I hope you guys are doing the same.
I'll tell you this, man. Like, Anthony doesn't give compliments out much
To many of these dudes.
to many people, but you've been very complimentary behind the scenes of Daniel.
Yeah,
Greer
he's
and what
good,
he
man.
does.
I can tell that he's done the work. I know he's been around doing this for a while. He was doing the Grizzly thing for a while. He came over to Bluff City Media. He was one of the people that when I saw him come over, I was like, damn, this Bluff City Media stuff is for real.
Now, the fact that we just found out that he's the one that tweeted about the fire in the eyes.
Did not know that, man.
Bro, that knocks him down a little bit.
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna be honest with you.
If you did not watch that segment, go back and watch it. Daniel talked about He's the guy that I said that he didn't see the fire in Ja's eyes, and Ja gave him a live petty rebuttal.
Legit thought that was a 15-year-old.
I thought it was a kid. I didn't think it was a 40-year-old man at all. But yeah, shout out to Daniel Greer for sure, who just wrapped up with us. And now we go into the three-pointer, where we talk about three events that are going on in the world of sports. Number one thing that I'll talk about for sure is the John Morant deposition. Kenny Stubblefield had no clue what a deposition was before yesterday. John Morant, the best understanding I have, but that's to clear this up for anyone, John Morant is in no threat to go to jail. But there are legal things that have to happen in this civil suit between the estate of Josh Holloway, the young man who accused John Morant of, punching him back when he was 17, in the summer of 2022.
Right.
The civil case is beginning to start, and interesting things came out of it. More details about the fight. Devontae Pack was talking about his eyewitness account, and I'm just reading everything in black dude from South Carolina voice the whole time. I'm like, because the way when you read it, it's like, okay, but then you start thinking about, all right, how did that brother really say this? Then I wonder, like, was he code switching? Was he trying to sound proper? Was he trying, you know what I mean? So I'm just imagining what that whole thing went down, how that whole thing went down. Interesting things of note for me is that because I think that we all kind of painted, I know I have in my mind, I painted this out like it's some scene from a movie where it's this long, elaborate fight scene of what happened. And Pac was like, man, it lasted for like a couple seconds. Like, he threw the ball, Josh bucked up like he was ready to fight. Josh swung on him. It was like, pap, pap, we broke it up. I got my lick in, he got his in, we were done. But like in your head, you kind of painted like it was just this wild 5-minute,
right,
scene from Above the Rim or something. Shout out to Above the Rim, classic
great
basketball
movie,
movie.
man.
He described it to be much differently. Interesting names that were also brought up in the deposition. Mike Miller, Trey Draper was mentioned as well.
I had no clue Mike Miller was there.
Yeah, for sure. But this whole scene,
not surprised Mike Miller was there, but I had no clue Mike Miller was there.
But here's the thing, though, man. Like, I think I would love to be invited to a John Morant summer hoop session, because it's like, seems like everybody was there. Seems like it was a pretty dope affair to be at, man.
To me, to be honest with you,
T probably was on the grill.
Yeah. Knowing the other guys that were there makes it more, because my whole thing this entire time has been, why in the hell did Ja have a 17-year-old kid at his house hooping?
It seems like it was a big cookout. Everybody just doing whatever.
It seemed like clearly there were some connections there that brought him there. Yeah. That you got City of Memphis guys, former high school coach, former University of Memphis assistant coach, Trey Draper, who is a legend here in Memphis. Makes sense to me now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I get it. And that's something that Ja is kind of big about, is being available and touchable to a lot of the local athletes in the city of Memphis. I get it. They said that he even used to go to G.G. Jackson's games. He's gone to his games before. So I think I read that somewhere. So I get it. Whatever. That whole situation seemed so grimy and so bad when I first heard about it. But ever since then, a lot has happened, Kenny. So I'm kind of over that whole thing with the incident. Another interesting part from the deposition part is the fact that Devontae Pack kind of explained something we hinted at a while ago, that when young inner city black men say things like, "That's my brother," that very well could be something that literally feels just like family. And
it is family.
Yeah, it is. You know what I mean? We talked about the first episode 0. We talked about working with inner city kids, how we know that this could be something way deeper than how people understand it. And D-Pack definitely explained it. D-Tap, I'm sorry, definitely explained it. He explained that I met Ja when I was 8 or 9 years old playing in rec league ball. I was a little hard-headed. Ja's coach pulled me to the side, helped me get my stuff together. I always knew Ja, played against him, played with him ever since then. When we were going AAU trips, I stayed with Ja because my family couldn't go. And if you don't understand the dynamic,
when Ja went to Murray, D-Tap stayed with T and
the
Ja's
family.
mom.
He moved into the house as
that's family.
That's family, yeah. So a lot of people are saying Ja needs to just pick better people and cut off some of these people. it's a totally different situation than what people, what people think. It's harder. It's harder than you think, man. And Ja also is in a situation now where with the civil case, like I said, I don't think anything. Probably nothing. You're probably talking about a matter of money, a matter of him paying out or whatever. But they're also John Martin of Jason and John show, a show that I'm on every Friday from 11:25. He said that from his sources, he's heard that Ja has cut ties to some extent with D-Tap. We saw that he unfollowed him on social media, and after reading this deposition, especially the part where he kind of like outed Ja, like saying that, Ja has a gun and all these type of things and didn't mention anything about him or whatever. People are kind of speculating, saying that that might be why they fell out. I don't know. I think it's PR related. I think that people behind Ja told him, look, you need to, kind of fall back from him or whatever. But we'll see, man. We'll see how that works out for sure. Like I said, the 3-pointer, number 1, the Ja Morant Deposition. Number 2, John Colins traded to the Utah Jazz for former Memphis Grizzly Rudy Gay and a second-round pick. I want to call Atlanta a poverty franchise for this. This seems like either one or two things are going to happen. Either they're trying to stealth reset this thing and kind of work around the edge. That's not work around the edges when you.
I don't feel stealth to me.
Yeah, it feels. I'm seeing blow it up.
Blow it up.
But I talked to people who are Hawks related and different. I've seen other stories saying the Hawks are priming to try to make another move. But my thing is, if that don't work and you're clearing salary, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what are you setting up to happen if you go for broke and it breaks? You know what I mean? So I don't really know what the Hawks are doing. You trade John Collins, a guy who was a 20-10 scorer a couple years ago, 21-8 maybe, I think, the year after that. Key part to that team, the year they had the Eastern Conference Finals run. I was talking to a guy named John Reed, who's a fan. I think he does some media stuff too. I think he's a podcaster or a radio host in Atlanta. We give each other shit all the time about it at the Hawks. And he said, Sain, you're forgetting that John Collins was on drugs when he was doing that. Like, he had some performance-enhancing drug violation. I totally forgot about that for sure. But John Collins traded for Rudy Gay and a second-round pick to Utah. Utah is a very you talk about the Grizzlies going small. Utah is going big. They play 6'11", 6'10", Walker Kessler. John Collins is 6'10", 6'9". And then you have
Lauri Markkanen,
who's a huge jumbo wing. He's probably more of a forward, but they play him at small forward. He's like 6'10".
And he had a major resurgence.
Oh, yeah, man. That dude blew up. League most improved player.
Yeah.
Utah team is going to be interesting, man. They are so annoying, man. Oh. Because they're not going to be good next year. But they're just going to be an annoying, middle-of-the-pack team that just like, all right, y'all playing too hard, man. We want to like. They're going to be that annoying team again this year, like they were this next year, like they were this year.
Like sure. The Grizzlies were a few years
back. Yeah,
back.
man. Like, get y'all ass. Then but it's like, okay, who are you? But like with the Grizzlies, you had Jaren Jackson Jr., who was a young potential star. Ja Morant, who was a mega star in the making. You're talking about this young, super exciting team. These Utah teams looks like somebody like AI just did a random team generator. Like, okay, just put 15 dudes on the team. Okay, Utah Jazz. Like, there's nothing sexy about their lineup. There's like no young star there. Just a bunch of guys that are fine and they're good enough. And
they're like 145-point drop off from Jordan Clarkson from winning a bunch of games.
Win a whole bunch of games, bro. Like, get the hell out of here, Utah. Yeah. But speaking of get the hell out of here, number 3, Damian Lillard. Looks like he's going to be staying in Portland, at least for the immediate future. He had a sit-down meeting with, I think his name is, what's the GM's name? Somebody Cronin or something?
No, is it O'Shea?
Shit, I don't know. You got Parrish Sharkey over there, who's the crack research reporter.
Yeah, Parrish is the guy. I think, is it Neil O'Shea?
I don't know. But he met with somebody.
Yeah, Neil O'Shea.
He met with Portland. Damian Lillard met with Portland.
Right.
And he talked about his future. They came out in a meeting saying that they're going to try to do their best to build.
We're going to build around
Damian Lillard. We've been hearing the same thing. And I'll say something, man. I've heard a lot of takes on the radio, national news. I'm going to give a different take on this. And my take on this is, if I'm Portland, I think I get this more than more people do. And I get Dame's side as well. When you're Damian Lillard, you're in a situation where you just watched your team draft, a team you've been with, the only team you've ever played for. You just watched that team draft a guy that you know is going to be your replacement one day.
100%.
Like, they drafted the guy that you know is going to replace you. It's kind of like we have intern Shamaria Wiseman came in today, who's coming in. I'm not here like nervous as hell thinking like, hey, this might be my last week in this bitch. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about Shamaria taking my seat. I would love to get her to the point where she's there, but no offense to Shamaria, she's not.
Next week it's the
this is it. You know,
Sharky Shamaria show.
Yeah,
next week.
She ain't Scoot Henderson yet. You know what I mean? So, and with that being said, man, like that he has to feel a way about this. Like that's kind of a Brett Favre, shit, man. Why I can't remember nothing.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's like a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers thing. Like you know that's the dude who they drafted to replace
Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love.
Yeah, you know that's the guy that they drafted to replace you, right?
Yeah.
Except for Scoot Henderson, probably is a way bigger star coming into expectation-wise than Aaron Rodgers ever was.
Like one of the biggest things, like one of the most hilarious draft moments I've ever seen was in the NFL a few years back when Aaron Rodgers won the MVP and they desperately needed a wide receiver. And there were a ton of wide receivers. And who did they get first round?
Jordan Love,
his replacement.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a second. If I'm Dame, I'm sitting here going, why are you getting my replacement when you could go get me a guy,
right?
Like, or utilize that pick and go get me some players that are actually good.
And we talked about last week. I was like, Dame, well, why do you expect them to do that? You know what I mean? Why do you think? Yeah, like why do you think they're going to trade the number 3 pick or the potential future of their franchise for a guy to come help you that may or may not work in a league that's got Denver, Phoenix, Memphis, all these teams who you know are going to be better than you. You know what I mean? So even still, why would they do that? But here's the side that I'm going to say that a lot of people are not saying. In the microwave transaction porn era we live in sports, everyone's saying Portland just blow it up. I've said Portland just blow it up. Mainly because I want Jeremy Grant. But I've said Portland just blow it up. But I can totally see the GM of Portland, the owners of Portland, the organization saying it was a while between not having Damian Lillard and getting Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard probably is the biggest star in the history of the Portland Trailblazers as far as individual dude. Yeah, I know Clyde Drexler came through there. I know, several different. I know they won a championship there before. But if you're talking about top 75 player of all time,
right?
Damian Lillard,
right?
You know what I mean? A guy who has embraced that city. There are fans piling in to see Portland Trailblazers games just because Damian Lillard is on that team.
Right.
You know you've got that. Right? You know you've got a floor of people give a shit about our team right now. If you trade Damian Lillard, yes, you drafted Scoot Henderson number 3. You don't know what Scoot Henderson's going to be. Scoot Henderson's not played a single damn game in the NBA. Scoot Henderson could be what Zion Williamson is today. He could have a woman problem and an eating problem. We don't know. I'm just saying, bro, like, if you let Damian Lillard go, you're walking into this unknown, and rebuilding and blowing things up are not always cute, man. You're not going to be the Memphis Grizzlies, a team that was in the playoffs over and over and over again. You take 1 year of being bad, you get Jaren Jackson Jr. You do it again, you get Ja Morant, and now you're a team that's instantly not bad anymore. You go from being crap to being 2 in the West in a matter of 3 years. Everybody's rebuild doesn't look like that. Ask Sacramento, ask Orlando, ask Minnesota.
Right.
They don't know what's on the other side of Damian Lillard. Yeah, here's the thing. Damian Lillard signed a Supermax deal where he's making like $40, $50 million a year.
Right.
It'll take a lot of dudes coming back for you to make that deal work. And here's the thing too, man. Like, you see, I'm 43 years old, Kenny, and you are as well. I see a lot of there are a lot of people my age that are just now getting divorced, right?
Right.
And you see women who it's kind of like Damian Lillard is kind of like this. There are a lot of women that may have gotten attention while they were married to their husband. They went in and got a divorce, and they realized, okay, there's not as many dudes who really like me like I thought. My DM was blowing up, but I'm not really getting real attention. I think there are a lot of teams that would like Damian Lillard on their team, but not $40-50 million worth of Damian Lillard. You know what I mean? Like that's you think the CBA is tight now. Go get one dude who's making the amount of money that Damian Lillard is making and see how
you don't think the market would be very high for Damian Lillard?
It will be, but what I'm saying is you're going to go to a situation where it's going to be tight as hell. Mm-hmm. If Miami gets Damian Lillard just to make the numbers work,
you trade him to another situation.
Yeah, because Portland's not going to take bullshit. They're not going to take Kyle Lowry's fat ass and Tyler Hero. You're going to have to get me like all them dudes that you got that was your role players.
I'm going to need Bam. And
and that's why a lot of people. I think a much more likely destination for Portland if they're going to trade Dame. I'm not trading them for like Miami spare parts. No, I'm not doing it.
Miami spare parts got them a couple of finals appearances, but they ain't worked that on the open market like that.
You're not giving me Kyle Lowry and Tyler Hero, and I'm giving you Damian Lillard.
You're not Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, Kyle Lowry.
No, go to hell. That's not happening. Yeah. I would go to the Clippers and say, hey, give me Paul George. Give me Paul George and the kid. What's his name? There's another one in Philadelphia.
There was another one. The kid and
the dude with the dreads. They both. You got to convince me they're not the same dude. My memory is bad today, man. I'm sorry.
Not Mac.
Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That dude.
The wing.
Yeah. I would do that. Give me them and we'll roll. Give me Paul George and the other Tyrese Maxey. The other one, y'all's version, the Clippers version. Give me him and give me Paul George because I think that Portland team obviously is afraid of the unknown. You know what I mean? I think that's a real thing. So I would not just go send Damian Lillard in it, and I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're a team that's been holding on to a guy like that long, and don't want to let him go. They're not just going to give him one.
But here's the problem with Portland, though. Mm-hmm. There's not a single person that's going to sit there and say that Portland is only one trade away from being a contender. Like you can't. They don't have. Like who would they go get? Like who could they get? They'd have to go get like 2 players, 3 players to become a legit title contender.
But why are we pretending that we actually think Portland wants to be a title contender? I think Portland just wants to keep their cash cow, Damian Lillard, happy. I don't think they particularly. They know they're not going to win a championship.
Well, I would expect
they don't want an empty arena.
I would expect to see a trade request coming soon then from Dame. Honestly.
I think regardless of what they're saying right now, you're going to see a stealth Damian Lillard trade. And I think the guys like
you don't think he's going to be loud about it like Kevin Durant has been?
I think he'll say all the right things. He'll do all the right things. You'll look up. It'll be kind of like Mike Conley in Arkansas when they got traded.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think you'll see him moved probably pretty soon.
I just don't see how Miami thinks that they're a contender in that.
If you are trash, Portland, if you send him to Miami just
because you're not getting anything.
You got to. If you let a guy like that go in a small market team like Portland, you got to get something back that keeps you guys relevant. And I know you've got Scoot Henderson, who's probably going to be a megastar in the league. I know that. But you still need to get something back because Scoot hasn't played a single damn game. You don't know what he's going to be.
That's right.
So, yeah.
I agree. It's a weird dynamic, man. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, but we're about to take a break, man. When we come back, we'll talk about inside the same brain. It's a couple things that kind of play off of each other very well. We'll talk about those things and more on Inside the Same Brain coming up next on the Anthony Sain Show. See you guys in a minute.
What's up, guys? I'm so excited to announce that we have partnered with Coaching for Literacy, and you can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your subscription to Bluff City NIL is 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. Thank you for supporting Memphis Tiger student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Final segment of the show. First, before we get started, big shout out to Daniel Greer, of course, our guest today. Great segment with him. Like I said, I don't know why, man. Somebody Daniel I really fooled with, man. He gave me the free Grizz 901 tee. Go check him out with the Sainchar. He got on the back with the number 46.
Sainchar.
Kiss my ass, Daniel Greer, but it's all good. Great segment with him. Yeah, man. Let's chop it up for Inside the Sane Brain, where I talk about something that's going on, typically outside of sports, but just the way I see it. Been a lot of hubbub in the city of Memphis about two events, Kenny Stubblefield, that oddly are related to each other. Drake was in town.
Supposed to do a show.
Yeah, no. He's not okay. His concert is supposed to be. Let's ask the cool people in the room. Samaria. Y'all said I'm not supposed to say her whole name for some reason. Maria is in the building.
Follow her on TikTok, right?
Follow her on TikTok. Maria, what's your TikTok? Yeah, Maria_knows_ball. Check her out on TikTok.
She's got 2 underscores.
Yeah.
Man, she's going in deep with the underscores now.
Yeah, there you go. But Drake's concert, when was it supposed to be?
I didn't even know about it until they.
All right, you ain't helping. Don't worry about it.
It's supposed to be on Thursday.
What? It's supposed to be this Thursday?
Right. No. Last Thursday or this Thursday? This Thursday.
I didn't know that.
I got Parrish in here helping me out.
Yeah,
man.
Parrish Shark, another cool dude in the building. But yeah, Drake's concert is supposed to be this Thursday. It got moved to 2 months from now, basically. So,
is it because he couldn't sell tickets?
What a reschedule, man. I'm glad you said that too. I'm gonna park that though. I'm sure the tickets were sold out to that though, right? Had to be. Anyway.
That's not what I'm hearing.
All right, so Drake basically gave you ninjas time to. Oh man, why y'all trying to make Drake the bad guy?
Hey.
Oh man, that's something about Memphis I've never understood. Why we don't buy tickets and stuff. It's like I don't know, man, because like Nashville has a much bigger stadium. That's another thing. That's another reason why people don't come here too, because Nashville has a stadium that's great for concerts, so people just go there. So that's kind of killing us. But anyway, Drake was in town. So funny, man, looking at the pictures of it. Basically looked like a pseudo family reunion situation.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, because his dad is from here.
Right. I know that. I mean, I know that part, but it literally looked like he had the Drake family reunion.
Yeah.
At the Rail Garden.
Right.
And Drake had on a shirt that said famous cousin. There was one shirt that said player. Everybody in the family had a different personalized t-shirt on, and you just saw Drake just unwound, man. Just had hooping shorts on, t-shirt.
Yeah. He had Memphis hooping shorts on.
Yeah, he had the University of Memphis hooping shorts on. Yeah, man, it was just a weird look to see see Drake that unbuttoned or whatever here in the Elm at Rail Garden at a cookout, the family reunion.
That was wild.
That was wild, man. So anyway, Drake was in town. So while he was here, local officials decided to give Drake the key to Shelby County? What?
Yeah, it's Shelby County, not Memphis.
Okay, the key to Shelby County.
Shelby Drive.
Right. Doc Holliday, who's definitely one of my mentors, definitely one of my OGs, big bro in this thing. I'm going to say this. Whatever Doc says, I agree with it. Let me look in the camera. Doc Holliday, whatever he says, I agree with it. But I can I'll say this. Doc said, not only does Drake not deserve a key to Shelby County, he doesn't even deserve a key to Shelby Drive. Might have been the funniest shit that Doc Holliday has ever said. And Doc has said a lot of wild stuff. I'll say this too also.
Look alive.
Mainly because I'm afraid of Doc Holliday, is that, no, but seriously though, like when I got let go with Sports 56, I had no desire to do any of this really anymore. Like I was done. Like I didn't trust the system no more, So Doc was doing his independent show on YouTube, And it had kind of a similar setup to what we were doing. They were doing it professionally. He had the overlays. I was like, man, Doc he had Penny Hardaway on his show.
Yep.
Like watching Doc's show kind of got me the hunger to be back doing this again on my independent.
In a different way.
Independent shit. Yeah, on a different way though. I was like, damn, Doc is really doing his thing. And then watching his videos that he does, that hyped me up as well. So shout out to Doc for making me want to get back in this. I thought the whole conversation was hilarious. Like the whole Drake getting the key to the city thing. And I'm not saying I disagree with Doc Holliday, but I will throw out this anecdote as if I did disagree. So just imagine I did. I don't. I just want to Doc, I don't disagree with you.
Public service announcement.
I'm just throwing this out just in case I did. All right? I just throw out this tidbit. Because I'm verbally, I'm shaking. My left hand, I'm nervous thinking about Doc Holliday watching this shit. Because I fear today that, I get added in a Doc Holliday video. So I'm not saying I disagree with Doc Holliday at all. Damn it. I got kids, Doc. Listen, No, but seriously. Doc said, I think Doc was kind of in jest too. I don't think he really. But Doc, the point that he was making was there were other people in the city that actually do things for the city, which is a valid point.
It's a valid point.
That's true.
Yeah.
My thing is, I don't particularly care if those people get keys to the city. I want them to get like literal keys to the city, like more resources, more funding,
100%.
that type of thing. Like there are people who work with young people, like give that guy a center, pump money into his vision and what he's doing. I don't care about things that are done for clout or for show. Like really help those people, get those people real acknowledgement. That's the only thing I kind of disagree with Doc on. And there are a lot of people saying, talking about debating whether Drake's actually from Memphis or not, or has any Memphis roots. I think that's neither here nor there because the whole key to the city analogy is kind of like, it's kind of made for people who aren't here, from here. Like it's kind of letting you know you're welcome here, do your thing, we appreciate what you're doing, do you. It's always been a clout type of thing. Like because you're a big deal and you're here,
right,
we're going to give you some props. I think it's always been like that. I mean, I don't know. But fellow Memphis Key to the City nominees include Rick Ross, who's also not from Memphis.
The boss.
And Master P, who also isn't from here as well. So I get it. There's no way Drake, like one of the greatest, most accomplished artists of all time, not to say hip-hop artists, one of the most accomplished artists, period. There's no way that guy's in your city wearing hooping shorts and a black tee and a family reunion at the Rail Garden.
So funny, man.
There's no way that guy comes to Memphis and you don't do something. Like, so.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Drake. So I get that whole thing. But I'm not disagreeing with Doc Holliday. So.
You going to go to the Drake show?
Man, that shit was like $500.
I know, man.
And I'm a Drake guy. Like, I could be in there and could go word for word every song.
Yeah.
I love Drake. Every album he's dropped, like all of them. I cleaned my house several times to the house music joint that he dropped.
Yeah.
It was right on time. But no, he ain't $500, my fan. I'm not a $500 fan though. For 2 tickets, no, I can't do it.
Mm-mm.
All right, y'all have to watch that joint on VR. Y'all have to tell me about it. Go live.
Facebook Live?
Yeah, I can't do it. No, I can't do it, man, for sure. In other news that is on my mind that's also related to the Drake situation, Block Boy JB, somebody that Drake famously did a song on Shelby Drive. What a transition, man. Shout out to Doc Holliday. Shout out to me. A dope-ass segue. Block Boy JB was the invited guest, special guest, co-host with Little Migo, who I have no clue who that was.
Yeah.
The only Migo I know about is the producer guy that did drop the album last year with like Tyler, the Creator, and other people on it. I didn't know there was a local.
Only Migos I know is in Atlanta.
Yeah, your mama, them. Yeah, I know about them and the other Migo. But yeah, I never heard of Lil Migo, but shout out to him. Lil Migo had a party featuring Block Boy JB in the Germantown area. And I'm the type of person like I talked about earlier, like with the John Morant fight situation, I picture it in my head. And what was described to me was a house party that went crazy in Germantown, including, man, I can't really say what I want to say. Just ninjaing, basically, is what was going on in Germantown. And poor white people, man.
God. I'm telling you, man.
Poor white people,
just,
for sure, man.
I'm telling you, just so messed up.
I mean, you live your whole life, man. You live your whole life.
How dare anybody have fun?
You set up your whole life, your whole lineage to get away from black people, and then the black people just come to you.
They come to you. They come into your neighbor. What are you supposed to do, Sain?
Man, I'm talking about it in just full ninjosity.
God.
Just full. They got the full experience, man. You had fights. You had
you had loud noises.
Drinking weed, ass cheeks out. Imagine being like a rich middle-aged white man. And you see a thick-ass, big-booty black woman just walking down your street, ass cheeks clapping, smelling like shea butter. Imagine how distraught. Yeah,
distraught's the right word.
And they were saying, people were saying that they were naked. Like people got out of the car naked. Oh man, for people who've actually never probably seen a woman who's in shorts whose ass is coming about the shorts. It probably is naked to you. Like you probably never seen it. It's kind of like if you go downtown and you see a party bus. But those things are literally like strip clubs on wheels, man. So yeah, I'm sure the people in Germantown were blown away at some of the stuff they saw when they saw black women in bathing suits. Yeah, it's doing something to me right now. Kenny, just thinking about it.
Hey, man.
Hey, that party sound live as shit too, man.
Ooh, man.
Said it was $25 for the fellas. That's what it said for $25. That sound like a lot of fun. If you can hang with Lil Migo and Black Boy JB and big booty black women in a pool party. Hey, when's the next one? But yeah, man, special shout out and prayer for white people who are overwhelmed by the black experience for sure.
It's just tough life, man.
Tough life, man. Like you live your life to be rich and get the hell away from black people just for black people to come to you. But yeah, you should get used to it, white people, because there are rich ninjas in the city right now. There are a lot of young rich millionaires in the city of Memphis. So yeah, coming through a suburb near you, the blacks. But yeah. I think John Morant brought all this. It wasn't like this when Mike Conley.
John Morant.
It wasn't like this when Mike Conley played for us, when Mark was here.
We need Zebo back.
No. Zebo might have been the one that started. Zebo kind of is a dude that kind of, like, if you think about it, because, like, Zebo might be part of the reason why there's a lot of young, rich black people in the city of Memphis. Like, he made, in the music industry, he made a lot of
100%.
He invested in restaurants and all kind of stuff, man. Like Zebo, yeah. Zebo really dropped the stem in the city of Memphis, man. Like for sure. But yeah, man, I thank you guys. That's another episode of Anthony Sain Show. Continue to check us out, man. We will see you guys again on Friday. We are doing the show, like you said, twice a week. Props to our guests again. Props to Perry Sharkey in the back. Props to Kenny Stubblefield in the back. Props to Maria to my left.
_nose
_ball on TikTok.
Follow her on TikTok.
Follow her
man.
on TikTok, man. She up next, man, for sure. But for man, we sound like we got a real production company going on. We got all kind of, hey man, hey, you kind of out, hey, we kind of like Germantown up there. It got real black, real quick. It just went from Bleak City Mafia to Bleak City Media to Black City Media real quick, man.
What'd you call us?
Bleach City Media.
Bleach City Media. Yep.
Cause y'all were white as hell if I came
Yes,
along.
we were.
Then you got me and dropped one. Hey man, I'm out. Need to get my boy Lee Owen in this bitch.
All right.
Oh man, you get him and Brian, it counts as like at least half a black dude. Anyway, we about to slide, man. We'll see you guys Friday. Anthony Sain Show. We'll see y'all then. We out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.